right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Owarimonogatari, episode 5. And
Okay.
oh my god, last episode.
Last episode was nuts. We now know what's going on with Oikura
We can
for the most part.
add things up.
Yep, Yep, it all comes together there. Hanekawa had a very unique reaction to Oshino Ogi with kind of a,
right.
her line here kind of applies here, where it's like, wait a minute.
But she knows many things, and that smells off. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Araragi apparently still isn't being fully honest with himself.
And with kind of, in some ways, the audience via extension of that.
Right.
So what is the remaining info we still have yet to uncover here?
I have no idea.
Is it with regards to Ogi, or is it with
I'm
something
it's
more?
Oikura.
It's more something with Oikura, because with what's going on with her, it's something where he had his his time, his summer, his lovely summer, kind of learning how to get basically better at math and spending a lot of time with her. But what did that lead to post summer? What state was Araragi in, and what kind of journey did he go on after that? That's what's really important here. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, we're going to be starting the episode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Sodachi lost. Oh, okay. Ogi. Redacting. This is Ogi, like, erasing memories.
Well,
that was great.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Oh. 20 characters. Oh. Oh, whoa. Oh, this is new.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Oh,
okay.
Oikura, okay. Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Ah. Oh.
All right.
Okay.
Huh.
Well.
All right.
That's.
So there's a reconciliation that needs to happen within Oikura.
Right.
Because I can imagine that the hatred that she has for Araragi actually stems from herself, right? Because she didn't do anything to solve her situation.
Yeah.
Huh.
Whoa. That's...
Huh.
Oh, dang. That's heavy. Okay, let's go. Sodachi lost part 1.
And yet it started talking about Ogi.
Aw. This music. Yeah. Wow, yeah. Nope. Yep, there it is. There it is. Uh-huh. Huh. Huh. Interesting. He equates it to an assassin, and she's talking about it as like a detective.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Gone on ahead. Hmm.
Uh-huh. Hmm.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my
Wow.
god.
Oh, wow.
Huh. Huh.
Well, Haragi, you really say a lot about yourself,
Yeah,
don't you?
uh-huh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, thankfully it's something else.
Hmm.
Hanekawa, you're wonderful. Mm. Mm.
Ogie.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, buddy, buddy. Yeah, it's like he's on the train track right now, but he's not walking. He's not
Mm-hmm.
wanting this to keep going this way.
Hmm.
Still, no. I love this background. This is
Mm-hmm.
so cool. Whoa. Whoa, this is cool. Okay. 4 is bad. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Gotcha.
Cool.
Oh, wow. This is like one of those really important video game
Mm-hmm.
questions.
Seems like a straightforward answer. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Mm. Mm.
I think that's the first time we've actually seen Ogi's hands.
Yeah, yeah. Root. Whoa. Whoa. Dang. Oh, Aragi. No, yeah.
I'll bet she's doing just great, isn't she?
uh.
How about not?
Oh, boy.
Or Kuro won't even realize I'm there.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's true. Ugh. I'm getting chills, y'all. Wow.
Really? Like straight up?
Yeah.
That's creepy as hell.
Oh!
Okay.
Okay.
So, are you going to explain something for us, Hanekawa? Ah,
Haha.
there you go.
Oh. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jeez. This is...
Hanekawa's...
Hanekawa, you are doing so... Oh! Mm. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, crap.
Unusual is definitely a way to describe it.
Hanekawa, you're amazing.
Oh!
Whoa.
Yeah.
You see, like, Araragi being all, like...
Distorted,
yeah. Whoa. Wow. Oh. Jeez. Whoa. Oh.
And future.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is amazing. I believe you, actually, but this is... The Grateful Crane.
Really?
Oh.
Seems a bit different. So, guilt.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Solves the whole problem right there. And you can come along too if you want, but we don't need you necessarily. Oh.
There you go. Yeah. Awesome. That little blush on Araragi.
Right. She didn't say it was going to solve everything in this world. Wow.
Oh boy.
I even speak for Hanekawa here.
Indeed.
That's the right way to look at it, but oh man. You're biased already. Oh my god.
Wow. Oh jeez. Jesus.
Oh! She just
nuclear, yeah.
And it's been made. Yep. Oh, what a callback though, like jeez. Yeah, probably.
Oh man.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Right.
Really?
But that expressed the sincerity of how important it was. Right. Exactly. Yep.
Oh, what a good guy then. Good job.
Do you though?
Well, he's
uh-huh.
Budget sushi. Oh, she looks exhausted. Oh, that's what she said. I lost. Yeah, Hanekawa. It's okay, Araragi. I'm just saying that Hanekawa... No, that's okay, though. But Hanekawa's taken on so much, like, here just to make this happen and have it work out for the most part. But I'm worried that Ogi's going to show up again now that Hanekawa's not there. Oh, what? Oh, yeah, Hanekawa left. I just
how'd you get
just
in
here?
Yeah,
who knows? You
Oh,
know.
Hanekawa, you let Ogi go past you and go inside? What?
Yeah. I don't know, because on some level, Araragi's lack of awareness regarding this is something where you get the vibe that kind of stuff doesn't happen as much, because then it would force him to maybe confront the aspect of Ogi that is, within himself, so in this bit here, from his perspective, it was two of his good friends, one a much older friend, sure, closer in that regard, kind of being a bigger deal. But that beginning bit in the episode with Ogi redacting all the things, almost like saying like, this journal entry, yep, no, just Oshino Ogi is Oshino Ogi, that's all, that's all it is, nothing else. Yep. I feel really bad for Araragi, though, because in some ways this is something where it's like he's trying to save himself, and he needs reconciliation. It's kind of like the OP with Oikura, where there are two like aspects of Oikura, and they need to be reconciled. Wow, this was a tense episode. Boy. This was extremely tense.
Yeah,
we had really 3 conversations this episode.
Yeah.
And they were really, really tense ones. I think there's kind of 4, because there was a point where Ogi and Araragi were talking before Hanekawa showed up. So, but really it was Hanekawa and Araragi having their walk and their conversation there.
Yep.
Really good stuff. Then we have them splitting up for a temporary amount of time. Araragi bumps into Ogi. They have their little conversation, and right as things are starting to go a little bit into a darker way, Hanekawa's like, nope.
Hold up a minute.
Reveals in some ways that she might have been playing a little bit of a detective thing there and tailing Araragi once he decided to then go see Oikura. And it's like, they have a really, really tense conversation then, the two of them, with Ogi specifically getting huge amounts of monologuing time.
Yeah.
And I'll say that what's really kind of freaky here is how much Ogi took charge, if that makes sense, and just like completely started like laying into Hanekawa.
Right. I feel like with the order of Monogatari, right? Since this is 3 days after, Araragi and Ogi met, and yet we've seen Ogi in the show a lot before this.
Yes.
Ogi here felt like she was power tripping.
Oh
right?
My God.
Like power tripping in a very serious way, because Ogi, since she's probably some sort of aberration or other, and linked to Araragi and his guilt and things, and all that stuff, self-hatred. Ogi works best from the shadows.
Ogi works best usually when it's just
Araragi, right? She works best one-on-one.
Yep.
Here, someone else is there, and not just anyone. Hanekawa,
right? One of the most observant of all the characters in the dang show.
Yeah. And somehow Ogi thought it was still a good idea. Like, Ogi thought maybe her claws were sunk that deep into Araragi that and she almost could. Like, just be like, oh yeah, let's just do this, do her whole snake thing and whatnot, and like everything. It was so weird too, because like, okay, of course it's Monogatari, so like it's very much not lost on me, and yet it's so surprising that, which is like, why am I surprised by this by now? But the fact that there was able to be so much conflict over very simple on the surface level kind of decisions.
Right.
You know,
Like
are you going? Who are you going to go visit first? Okay. You know. Oh. You know.
Yeah. Can we just talk about that real quick? I want to talk about this episode actually in chronological order a little bit, because so we start off with Ogi being like kind of given a little bit of exposition via Araragi, just like, well, who or what is Oshino Ogi? And we're going to have a little bit of a riddle, a Japanese problem you need to describe in a certain number of characters.
Yeah.
Oshino Ogi is Oshino Ogi. That's the answer. But how much of a fool is Araragi Koyomi? But you have to use Oshino Ogi in this answer with 20 characters or less. So what it is, in a lot of ways, the simple kind of non-specific answer to this is that Araragi is a fool because of his perceptions regarding Oshino Ogi. That's kind of the, like, there's probably a more detailed specific answer, but what it is in a lot of ways is that he is being led around whenever he is interacting with Oshino Ogi in a way that is in
Not
a way
healthy,
that,
shall we say?
well no, I want to attack that preconception really quickly here. Is that it is something where it is Araragi is not aware of why things are going a specific way. Because, and I believe this is the reason why, because Oshino Ogi is responsible directly, and I would say almost definitely so, for his memory issues. And that is part of the aberration / kind of mental health issue that's going on within Araragi, is that he specifically like thinks that, oh yeah, it's just been like a few days since I met Ogi. I don't buy that.
Yeah.
I don't buy that one bit. No. If anything, Ogi has all this other memory and all this other stuff where it's like, no. Ogi's more tied to you than you would actually like be willing to admit, maybe.
I feel like this episode did certain things to basically almost come out and say what Ogi is without saying it.
Of course.
In a very similar way that the foreshadowing has done previously. But
that's been in some ways this whole like arc so far.
No, I know. Yeah. But like the spot where like she's Araragi's shadow, you know, like there you go.
Yeah.
The fact of all the things that get erased except for her name, is that, well, here's a question: is that her erasing them, or is it Araragi erasing them? And it's all get condensed down so that Oshino Ogi is just all the things I don't want to think about. You know, like
yeah. It's really just a question of, because Oshino Ogi can't be everything, although Oshino Ogi seems to know everything with regards to Araragi in a lot of ways. It's just the question of how much control does Ogi have over Araragi. Right. And in this situation, this was literally a kind of to call things back to the previous arc, this is a possession situation here. We have literally the friend who is watching basically her, like, kind of I would say like her crush, if you will, but kind of Hanekawa's kind of gone over her arc and stuff, things there, but someone that she really deeply cares about.
Immensely deeply,
like going through some very serious stuff in real time in front of her. So then she shows up when Araragi is basically about to, and it looks like this, seemingly like give control to Ogi. Like, I almost see it in some ways of where someone would basically be possessed by some kind of like darker side of themselves. And then Ogi basically starts to get more and more like kind of like you said, power tripping there. And then there's a part where Araragi has this moment where he's like, all right, Ogi, yes, like let's do this. And he literally like kind of mockingly like takes on a facial expression that's like very much kind of a like where is it? Here it is.
After the shadow thing and the whispering in the ear, then it's just the
And what's funny is, you know, the whole rules of vampire and stuff, like if you're going to like, you know, enter the threshold of the door, you have to get permission and stuff like that. This feels in some ways like that, where it's just like Ogi being like, hey, can I enter this door? Can I do this? And then she's like, Araragi's like, okay, then Ogi-chan, help me. and all right, I've been asked to help.
Yeah.
This is it right here. And then immediately Hanekawa, don't ask her.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a lot of things in Monogatari that they don't do specifically, I would say, to save time, pacing wise. They don't show really locations with regards to like specificity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The location that they're in is kind of irrelevant. They're next to the high school, though.
Right.
This is a spot where, there's a lot of history in this spot.
Yes.
This specific area
has
a lot of history.
For Araragi and Hanekawa specifically.
Right. Yes. Hanekawa was following Araragi.
Yep.
That's just what it is. Why was she following him? Well, I think it's because he chose to go see Oikura instead of Senjugahara at that point there. I think that Hanekawa is smart enough to realize that that's not right here. That means that there's something more going on with Oikura that Araragi hasn't shared yet. And because of the fact that maybe Hanekawa doesn't, kind of know that much, she's kind of like, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe splitting up isn't a good idea. And he doesn't seem to be doing that well, so I'm going to kind of, in some ways, kind of maneuver around behind his back, because I don't even know if Araragi is really aware of how much of it in a bad way he is. So I'm following him. Oh, now he is asking this girl for help in a way that let's like break things down a little bit here. What is the kind of the perspective we're getting here? This is really important. No, I meant for the show, for this episode, this part in the episode right here.
Araragi being in the middle?
Well, I think this is Araragi's perspective. There was a lot of things once the conversation became basically Hanekawa and Ogi squaring off and doing battle almost in a way. Araragi was like, whoa, and just kind of like having this like, I'm feeling amorphous. I'm not really here. I am barely involved in the whole thing here. I think what happened here is that Ogi was given permission to help.
Right.
So from here on out, Ogi's kind of the one in charge.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw out there the idea that if both are being how would I put this in a way that is like kind of simple, because I would say that Monogatari has moments where you're very clearly like seeing things through the perspective of a specific character.
Yeah.
And Araragi is primarily the perspective character we've been getting over the majority of things.
Occasional differences, but...
Right, like when we focused kind of entirely on Hanekawa. And because of that, we got to see her reality was entirely different than what had been perceived or presented
unreliable
towards,
narrator.
Towards Araragi.
Yep.
And that is one of probably my favorite moments as an arc, so to speak, in Monogatari. This one here is very clearly something that is focusing on Ogi, and I would say by extension, Araragi. Hanekawa kind of coming into things here and getting that bit means that, well, we're still seeing things through the Araragi kind of perspective here with kind of a focus on Ogi, but I don't know if we're actually seeing things the way it really is.
I would say that we're almost definitely not. Now, there is the possibility that it ends up going for the angle that Ogi is an aberration that was made as a result of everything. That's the explanation for why Tsuruga and Sengoku were able to see her.
Right.
But barring that, even then, that still fits a lot of the same purpose.
Freaking Yotsugi as well.
Right. Yeah. Yes. But barring that, I would say it is very much likely, especially since the previous arc was just straight up possession, right? That Ogi has assumed direct control. Hanekawa knows enough of the situation to roll with the punches, basically. But the way this was framed here, even though it was something where Araragi was needing to make a choice, once Hanekawa showed up and was essentially fighting on behalf of Araragi, it seemed a lot less like an actual battle to keep Araragi from choosing a certain thing,
right?
But more like the kind of thing that you would expect in another story where the person has been already possessed by the darkness or whatever, and then their friend comes up to them and is trying to get their attention, trying to
wake
break
up,
through. Wake up, right?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like is happening here.
Yeah.
So I would not at all be surprised if Hanekawa was directly just talking to Araragi.
Yep.
Like, totes.
Yep. And that's probably the thing that in some ways keeps getting held back in my theories because of the fact that there are moments where there are 3 parties involved.
Right.
Like, this is probably the thing of why, in some ways, this works maybe in such a genius way, is that every time that there are 3 parties involved, though, it is only one other person other than Araragi and Ogi.
And have we ever, if I recall correctly, the only time that happened, that was Yotsugi.
Well, no, because that's the thing. It was just Yotsugi. It was Yotsugi, Araragi, and Ogi.
No, right. But that's what I'm saying, is that whenever we had someone beyond who Ogi was sort of influencing, right? It was Yotsugi, and that's one situation with Araragi and Ogi, right?
And there wasn't actually as much really interaction. It was more just kind of the noticing of Ogi being present.
Right.
And then Ogi kind of being the one that can just kind of state things as they are, and someone just goes, "Oh, that's the big boss. That's the big problem right there."
Well, right. The fact that Yotsugi said that Ogi was the big boss after that. Also, Yotsugi is shall we say, rather difficult to read. So yay. So if Yotsugi saw something that seemed odd, we would probably never realize it, right? So Yotsugi could have been there and just saw Araragi talking to himself, right? Like both sides of the conversation potentially, even, which would be a bit weird. And then in that episode, I believe that's when Yotsugi says, "Ogi's the final boss." Looks like, which would make sense because she would have seen that happen,
right? So in this case now, it's way more on the nose. It's way more of a specific problem, and I think the reason why is because, in this case, Araragi is having to confront something that he is not ready for. Ogi, I think, on some level, though, is on Araragi's side. However, I think the reason why Hanekawa is right, though, in that she needs to be involved in some ways in order to help here, is that the quintessential thing of only you can save, only someone can save themselves. So basically, I don't even know. I keep forgetting the line. Do you remember the line? What it exactly is? It's a person can only
save themselves. I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Which would fit, because that would go for both for themselves and also for others.
Right. But in this case here, Hanekawa is getting the vibe that no, Araragi is kind of, in some ways, hurting himself. Is in some ways not going at this from the point of saving himself, but something where it's, he's confused. He's at the very least not seeing things as they are.
If so my theory on this is that it's Hanekawa perceives it as being self-destructive. Now, why is Hanekawa the person here? Hanekawa is very perceptive, but she has also gone through a similar situation where she had to deal with an alternate version of herself and have reconciliation.
So she's experienced.
Exactly. So she is not just from the standpoint of the story of she's the like she would definitely understand what's going on, but from a meta perspective, that's why you have it be Hanekawa, right?
Right. And then the other thing is that because she's tied to Araragi's past, she might have, like, for all we know, she might have encountered something like this before.
Sure. And in this situation, I would guess that the whole thing of the Senjugahara versus Oikura thing is basically a self-destructive tendency gauge.
Yeah.
Because with Senjugahara, Senjugahara is smart. She knows Araragi, right? If Araragi wasn't in a good way and he was about to go into a place of potential danger, whatever, something where he had to do it in the proper way for himself and for the other person, she would pick up on it pretty quick. And if there was some way that it was going to go badly, she would bring it up, right? if Araragi is avoiding her, that means either, one, self-destructive, doesn't want to be around her because, there's the feeling of not, the not deserving the good thing.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Which is very much something he's been experiencing in the last couple parts.
And all the guilt and the shoulds and everything, and that's why he goes to the negative thing. But then also because he knows that Senjigahara would point that out, right? That he knows that if he went there and he saw her beforehand, she'd be like, you don't seem like, all right, if you're going, I'm coming along too, right? So it's something of him isolating himself by saying, I'm going to do this first. I'm guessing that what Hanekawa wanted to have happen is she was like, in a best case scenario, because I also want to protect Araragi, if he is doing well, he'll say, I'll go see Senjigahara first. Right. And then it's like, oh, well, we'll split up. You go see Senjigahara, I'll take care of Oikura. I'll go check up on her and make sure she's doing okay. Yeah. After all, I am the class president and stuff. So, like it's okay. Yeah, we're both handling the responsibilities. But that didn't happen. Then it's like, all right, okay, we gotta do this serious. Yeah, alarm bells went off. Yep. And
I'm following Araragi now.
And I absolutely love that there were so many callbacks to her own situation of a similar nature in Shiro, right? Yes. Both with the whole idea of the unreliable narrator and everything, but then also the whole idea of the pajama party and with Senjigahara and all that stuff. Yeah, like that, and yeah.
Araragi chose Hanekawa.
Yes,
this is really important because the way he chose her was not because he got excited about touching her boobs. It was oh my god, I remember the last time she basically kind of offered, that kind of thing there.
That was when serious. I was like wanting to die and thinking of a way to, debating just the last moments of, do I kill myself?
Right. And he's learned since then kind of why he should have said yes at the time there and actually like taken her up on her offer.
Yes.
But now he knows like, oh no, this is because of how serious she is because she cares a lot about me.
Yep.
But this also really feels kind of interesting, almost like the Monty Hall problem. You realize that there's two doors and he was going to specifically, oh yeah, we said that we would meet here at 3:52 p.m. outside the school. Maybe I'm just got short-term memory loss, but that didn't happen.
No, that
did not happen. And he just kind of goes along with it, like, yeah, high-end sushi for sure. What? No, I can't do that. Are you broke or something? The banter was hilarious, but Hanekawa was really the only choice.
Oh man,
he had to switch. Really, he had to switch. So he ended up, in my opinion, going through the right door here. But I loved the bit when then they actually go to see Oikura, which she's excited in some ways about Araragi actually going there eventually and resolving this because she's making the effort, But she is so exhausted, in my opinion. This is probably why they were doing this, but they could have been doing it in other ways. That she's so exhausted from the Ogi encounter. That she's like, there's a whole lot of just stuff going on, and I'm a human being. I can only take so much. So, there you go. I can't win this battle with Oikura. You go do your thing, Araragi. You've got this.
It's a similar thing to, or basically the same thing to when Senjigahara met the Black Hanekawa, right? Yeah. And the energy drain and everything, and it's no, shake my hand. Yep. All right. Take good care of Hanekawa for me, right? Because there's the idea of okay, an energy drain thing. No. It's also because let's just say it's taxing to deal with high pressure, high importance, precarious situations like that, right?
To deal with people that are very needy, and have become maybe emotional vampires. So,
and yet that does not change the fact that it is something that is absolutely happily given.
Yes,
right. Yes. For the
definitely
for the benefit of the other person, right.
Hence her whole massive showdown with Ogi,
which was like,
in terms of presentation,
that was so awesome.
That was so incredible.
That was so awesome.
Like, and the fact that Ogi just laid into Hanekawa, went off. That was brutal. Because what we can extrapolate a little bit is that Araragi, in some level, feels this way about Hanekawa. Just a little bit. Like there is some aspect of Araragi's kind of
and
perspective coming through Ogi's words.
Yeah, the idea of if that was Araragi saying all those things, it's like, well, like even if it was Ogi,
it's not necessarily Araragi.
No, I know, but if it was visually, like if he was actually literally like, you know, in a possession kind of state right then, so it was coming out of his mouth, you know.
Yeah. Like in some ways. It is. It has to be. That's kind of the whole point with Ogi, is that there's this hold control that was new here. This was new. This was a different state that Araragi was in when in the presence of Oshino Ogi. Every other time, there's been almost a little bit more physical distance, if that makes sense. Oh. There was remember the point where they were trapped in the classroom and Ogi was getting all handsy with
slithering
Araragi?
Around him and stuff. Yeah,
that was something where I was feeling the constriction, basically, of Araragi not being able to basically be as much himself.
Right.
In this case here, Ogi was like, it was getting almost to the form of like ritual. Like when you see that
kneeling
kind of,
down and everything.
Yeah, and then like, please give me permission, let me help you, and he's like, you can help me.
But the amount of times that they just kept having his eyes just be swirling like that.
Oh my gosh!
Like this episode was so unnerving and so creepy.
Yeah.
Like, despite the fact that it was just the thing of, want me to go help you talk to this person, you know, like.
Because even if you just take it as that, that means that just the act of actually needing to go talk to Oikura brings up this much stress, this much turmoil within Araragi. I am in love with this. This is incredibly good stuff.
I gotta say.
And now we get the actual conversation in a no holds barred, no filter, really good opportunity for dramatic consequences, kind of storytelling opportunity between Oikura and Araragi, since they're not in the confines of the school anymore. Yeah, that Araragi is now aware of the past.
That was one of the things that surprised me so much about this episode. This episode ended off in much the same way as the previous episode of, are we now going to talk to Oikura, right?
Right.
You know, and so from that sense, kind of, nothing happened, you know, if you think about it from that sense of the Oikura problem in this episode.
Oh, sure.
And yet, the amount of stuff that was in here, like it blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. Like, Hanekawa, I think I'm in love. Like, I love you. You are amazing. Yeah, like,
and you can even see like she's not fully grasping in some ways the best way in order to do this, but she is in some ways doing the Araragi thing. Like I'm almost certain in some ways this is part of the, because she loved and also kind of loves Araragi.
Yeah, it might not be in the I want to marry you.
It might not be in the unhealthy way that it was before, but it is a deep care that she is kind of thrusting herself into the situation in the way of, I don't know the best way in order to do this because I don't know everything. I just know what I know.
But I will stand proud and take you on, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. I will put myself on the line in order to make sure that my friend is okay. Yeah. And that's just good stuff. That's good stuff,
man.
And I only thing that I think that we could have read into a little bit here, but we didn't really. I necessarily, because it's a more of a what if scenario, is why didn't Hanekawa go grab Senjugahara and immediately then kind of have them both, you know, why didn't she grab Senjugahara and go, something's going on with Araragi?
Well,
I think you need to take a look at this. I think that there's some things we can easily extrapolate from that, but I don't want to kind of discuss it too much because it's too much of a what if scenario,
right?
You know,
my general theory potentially is that it's something where Araragi has enough of an avoidance maybe for Senjugahara currently because of how he knows that she would cut right to the chase and cut right to the problem.
Okay.
That having Hanekawa there feels maybe safer, kind of. Right?
Easier?
Yeah, easier. You know.
Okay.
Like,
but he didn't
yeah. I mean, man.
Yeah, that's why in some level this is a really scary thing for not really just Hanekawa and Araragi, but also something in a little bit for Oikura. I don't want to go into theory crafting here because I feel like they're gonna really give us a good conversation with this whole thing here. But this is the part 1 of Sodachi Lost, which had the OP kind of having a dual Oikura kind of reconciliation, but also still maintaining that kind of cloned split kind of aspect there, which seems potentially very parallel to kind of what seems to be going on with Araragi
and what did go on with Hanekawa. You know, like
just saying that has me in some ways actually now worried for Oikura. And I know that because what happened in her backstory was something that was so devastating. This could be like a I don't want to quote Star Wars here, but like
I've got a bad feeling about this.
I've got a bad feeling about this, but it could be a cave moment. And I don't really have too much I can go into with that because it gets kind of vague, but
I don't think it's gonna get resolved here is the thing.
Oh yeah,
me
either.
Like there's so much still that has to be worked through, and it's not just gonna happen with the one conversation, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm guessing it's going to get worse before it gets better. This is going to be messy, but hopefully good messy. Yeah. And then
in that respect, these conversations are happening.
Right. Yes.
That's in some ways one of the things that you can really only hope. That's the best you can hope for, honestly, when you're dealing with someone that is in a really bad state mentally and emotionally, is that they're willing to have conversations even like this in general.
Because Ogi does serve a purpose. Like, there's a reason she exists.
Right, and that's the thing, is that Ogi, and I want to stress this, Ogi is actually trying to help Araragi, but it is from the Ogi perspective. And that is the thing of where we don't know fully what Ogi is. We know kind of what Ogi is, but we don't know exactly why Ogi is. Man. So the question isn't what is Oshino Ogi or who is Oshino Ogi, it's why is Oshino Ogi. And we haven't fully gotten into that yet.
Two last things I want to say. One, and this one is, I could talk about this for probably a long time, but it's too much. So I'll just say, every time they did it, wow, thank you. All the times that either Ogi would say something that was like relating to Araragi, or Araragi would say something about Ogi, but it was really him talking about himself. Yeah, like that was really good. Oh man, that was good. Also, and worrying,
Yeah. Also, another thing that they brought up here, because Hanekawa knows a lot. One of the things that she was good at was calling Araragi when he would lie or misdirect or kind of jump around the problem. She'd be like, whoa, we're not on the same wavelength here. Yeah. One of the things that I think I've been watching Monogatari for a while now, but I think I'm now actually starting to click with it, is I can tell when they intentionally show a character lying. A character that is not telling the truth, or not even in a way that is willful deception, but is a form of like self-deception.
Right, because in a lot of ways that can be the hardest way to tell, because there wouldn't be tells because they also believe it. You'd have to look at the context of everything and say it doesn't add up.
Right, and I would say that they're doing that a lot in this episode here with ways, and I think the way they've been doing it is when they show a character talking, but they cut right below the eyes here, and they just show the character speaking words as if they're just kind of drolling them out, but they're not putting much effort or thought into them because it's just kind of a deflection or something like that. And then they would do a thing where if Araragi was saying that and it was just talking with the angle right here, it would show Hanekawa giving this look of like,
interesting,
like she's kind of giving this like doubt, like that's not true, or that why are you trying to hide something, like why are you not giving it to me straight, Araragi, and that kind of stuff there. I feel like I now want to kind of take that filter, if that is actually right, go back and watch like some key episodes specifically with Araragi kind of dealing with some stuff that was related to this. Final thing I want to say about this episode, and this is something that I haven't got because I haven't rewatched the Sengoku stuff in Bake yet. Do you remember when Sengoku was talking about the times where Araragi would bump into like the hangouts that the sisters would have with Sengoku, but there was another character that was always talked about as like being there but ignored?
I don't. That sounds familiar.
Yeah,
but I thought that was
maybe I'm mixing things up here, but I'm getting a vibe that the character of Oikura was foreshadowed actually in Sengoku's Bake arc. And I want to go back and rewatch that stuff just to see what that, because remember there was like a younger characters like hangout thing.
For some reason, I always assumed that was the person that ended up being really jealous of Sengoku. Although they might not have ever said that.
Okay, maybe that's it. But I'm just.
But if that was Oikura,
I'm trying to see if there's any Oikura connection in there. I might be just forgetting things because it was a while ago that I watched that. And the only stuff in Bake I've recently rewatched was the beginning few episodes with Senjukahara, and then some of the stuff with Hanekawa towards the end.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
The only other thing I want to say is that the idea with the unreliable narrator, given that Hanekawa was all disheveled when she came back from talking to Oikura at the top of the stairs,
right?
There's a part of me that wonders, what if that wasn't actually when it started? What was that? What if that was just when Araragi noticed it and sort of pieced two and two together as sort of a suitable explanation for it, and that was actually maybe what happened when, as a result of her confrontation with Ogi, because the idea of Araragi, like, even if it's Ogi saying it, but Ogi is still connected to Araragi, so it still is kind of Araragi saying it. The idea of a lot of the things that Araragi said coming out of his mouth and Hanekawa having to see that happen and still stand firm and resolved and everything,
right?
That's, my heart just goes out to her. Like, that had to have been really, really hard.
Yeah, because Ogi did say, hey, we don't want to burden Hanekawa, right? We don't want to have her deal with our petty petty problems, and stuff. And it's like, oh yeah. And see, that's the thing. I kind of want to use the word "our" there because it's like, like, let's be real. It's our. So this bit there is something where I'm like, okay, there is a very serious like thing going on with not only how Hanekawa sees it, but how it's actually like being presented now to us.
Yeah.
And there we go.
One hell of an episode.
Yeah. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and long discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there, and any level of support gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us and the community there about this show and anime in general. And you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
Yeah, I did a thing. It's called Battle Lines. It's super cool. It's on Amazon. Link in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.